How did the markets close up today?
Well, the markets today, as you've reported, we saw a modest dip. This is because investors are more they're not keen to investing right now because indicators are pointing to a slightly depressed market. And going forward, as they await for the earnings information from the banks, we expect that they will reevaluate their investment decisions.
What is expected from the banks?
Well, the last Monetary Policy Committee announced a number of changes, whereby we saw the central bank, the cash ratio go down 25 basis points. So what this means is that there's additional liquidity in the market of around 3.6 billion. So if the banks are going to lend this particular money to the private sector, then it would mean that in their books there's additional income. So this data is what investors are really waiting for and going to see how it's going to impact on the share prices.
And were there any big results today on the market in Nairobi, company results?
The company results, well, not quite. Today we didn't have, the only information we had in the market today was on TPS Arena, where you saw revenues go up because it's primarily on the tourism sector, so we do expect some sort of recovery because of, I mean, as you know, the world economic crisis, where we've seen travel worldwide go down, but we are seeing TPS Arena really coming up in terms of revenues. And again, there's also the local tourism in terms of Kenya, whereby we are seeing more and more Kenyans going for visits locally. So that is really impacting on their revenue. So we're actually seeing in the revenue segmentation, there's actually an increase in local tourism. So that is really providing the much needed backup in the revenues.
What about international tourists? Are they returning to Kenya at all? I mean, many people were frightened away by the political violence last year. Are they coming back?
Yeah. Well, the data that is currently available, it's positive that international tourists are really coming back. I mean, out there, we are seeing this advertising by the government. I mean, the other day, those promotion of Kenya as a tourism destination in the CNN. Such moves are really impacting positively in the tourism sector. And also, where you have foreigners coming in, investing in the local market, then I mean, it's just a matter of time to see the actual people coming to see, I mean, how is Kenya doing? So this is actually proving positive for our country, and that's why we are seeing the kind of results we are seeing now. Yeah.
What about the shilling? So we saw it was slightly up today. How is it faring this week?
Yes. Well, sentiments I'm getting from the banking side of the financial sector, the demand side from the central bank has not really been coming in for the last 2 days. That is Monday and Tuesday. But today there was a bit of demand from the central bank. Now going forward, you actually have to weigh the direction to which the shilling will take, looking at demand and supply. By demand, we are looking at central bank. If we see some demand coming in the later part of the week, we're actually going to see the shilling go up. But again, on the supply side, where are these dollars coming from? So, if the tourism earnings and agricultural earnings are not so promising, then you're likely to see that the dollar supply will be quite limited. So, in the coming days, you're likely to see some oscillation between the current price levels.
What is the likelihood of the central bank coming back to trade into the shilling? We were hearing last night that they're staying away. Do you think they're likely to come back into the market this week?
Well, looking at a wider policy view, whereby there was an issue about the import cover, whereby they are looking at extending the import cover to 4 to 6 months in the next maybe 1 to 2 years. So if the central bank is going to pursue a strategy whereby they're going to buy the dollars from the local market, then if that demand comes in, say in the immediate future, then you're likely to see the dollar go slightly up to maybe, I'm not let me say around the 76, 77 figure.
And what about the shilling for the rest of the week? And also I understand that Old Mutual is making some waves there.
Yes.
What's happening there?
Pardon, I didn't get that question.
Sorry, I was saying I understand that Old Mutual is making
Yes.
some waves up on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. What is happening there?
Well, you see, Old Mutual being a fund manager, and their participation in the local bourse, it boosts the investor confidence. So if indeed they will come into the stock market, then it will mean that investors will rally with that. So you like to see more activity going forward, which in turn will improve the indicators, be it the market turnover, the equity turnover, and the actual volumes traded.